Internal audits are an integral part of a quality and food safety system, and understanding the many aspects of them will aid in effectively implementing a process that will aid an organization achieve its continuous improvement objectives. In food manufacturing, internal audits are crucial for ensuring regulatory compliance, identifying and preventing food safety risks, improving operational efficiency and product quality, and building customer trust. By proactively evaluating food safety systems and processes, companies can prevent costly penalties, product recalls, and damage to their reputation, ultimately contributing to a safer food supply chain and a stronger market position. A food safety audit is a systematic evaluation of a food business's processes, management system, and facilities to ensure compliance with established safety standards, regulations, and best practices to prevent contamination and protect public health. An internal audit is an independent, objective assurance activity within an organization that provides an assessment of its governance, risk management, and control processes. The primary goal is to add value by improving the organization's operations by bringing a systematic, disciplined approach to evaluate and enhance the effectiveness of those processes. Key activities include examining evidence, identifying risks, and recommending improvements to ensure alignment with organizational goals and objectives. Generally speaking, there are three types of audits. They include a product or service audit, which is an examination of a particular product or service to evaluate whether it conforms to requirements or specifications. Process audits examine an activity to verify that the inputs, actions, and outputs are in accordance with defined requirements. The boundary of a process audit should be a single process, as it is very focused and usually involves small components of a whole system. And a system audit is a documented activity performed to verify, by examination and evaluation of objective evidence, that applicable elements of the system are appropriate and effective, and have been developed, documented, and implemented in accordance and in conjunction with specified requirements. The type of audit is then classified based on its purpose. They can be certification, performance or compliance, and follow-up audits. Certification audits are typically performed to do business within a sector as the result of customer requirements, and typically done by a third party. Performance and compliance audits are value-added or management audits, typically performed as internal audits. The auditing is conducted to measure performance as part of a continuous improvement system or in preparation for a certification audit. Follow-up audits verify corrective actions have been developed and implemented. Typically, they are performed separately from the audit where the finding or shortfall was identified, or as part of the next scheduled audit. Auditing levels. There are multiple levels of audits, including first-party audits, also known as an internal audit, is a self-assessment conducted by an organization on its own processes and systems to identify nonconformities, assess effectiveness, and drive continuous improvement. These audits are performed by trained internal auditors or consultants working on the organization's behalf to ensure compliance with internal policies and external standards, providing a cost-effective way to prepare for external certification audits and proactively address issues before they become significant problems. Second-party audits are a formal evaluation of a supplier or service provider conducted by a customer or a contracted organization on their behalf to ensure that the supplier meets contractual obligations and specific customer requirements. These audits help guarantee the quality and compliance of products and services, inform purchasing decisions, mitigate supply chain risks, and ensure suppliers are meeting defined standards beyond general certifications. Third-party audits are independent evaluations performed by external organizations, such as certification bodies or specialized firms, to verify compliance with standards, regulations, or contractual obligations. These audits offer greater objectivity and expertise than internal or supplier-led assessments, providing an unbiased view of an organization's processes, systems, and risk management practices to ensure accountability and identify areas for improvement. Audits typically have set criteria groups to audit against. They fall into the following categories. Reference standards is a documented framework, rule, or set of criteria used to assess and confirm compliance and quality within an audit. It provides a benchmark for evaluating whether an area meets certain requirements, ensuring consistency, reliability, and objectivity in the audit process and the final evaluation of the audited subject. They can include national or international standards, customer specifications, contracts, industry codes and standards, purchase orders, and laws and regulations. Performance standards is a mandatory rule or criterion used in performance audits to provide quality criteria against which the performance of an organization or program can be evaluated, ensuring that the audit is conducted effectively and that the subject matter of the audit has been evaluated against acceptable criteria. They can include policies and objectives, manuals, procedural documents, and detailed documents. The key benefits of internal audits for a food manufacturer include: ensures compliance. Internal audits verify that a food manufacturing facility adheres to all applicable regulations, industry standards like BRCGS, FSSC 22000, or SQF, and internal policies. Prevents food safety issues. By systematically reviewing food safety management systems, these audits help identify potential hazards and weaknesses in processes, allowing for timely corrective actions before they lead to outbreaks or recalls. Drives continuous improvement. Audits highlight areas for operational improvement, leading to more efficient processes, better resource utilization, and ultimately, enhanced product quality. Builds a strong food safety culture. Engaging employees in the audit process fosters a sense of ownership and accountability for food safety throughout the organization. Strengthens customer trust and reputation. Demonstrating a commitment to robust internal audit programs builds confidence with consumers, regulators, and business partners. Reduces costs. By preventing nonconformities and improving efficiency, internal audits can lead to cost savings in the long run by avoiding penalties, reducing waste, and minimizing risks. And provides competitive advantage. A well-managed internal audit program showcases a company's dedication to food safety, differentiating it in the marketplace and potentially opening new business opportunities. A food manufacturing internal audit team consists of multidisciplinary, trained, and competent staff responsible for systematically evaluating the effectiveness of a company's food safety management system, or FSMA, against internal policies, external regulations, and industry standards. The team should be independent of the operations they are auditing and use a systematic process to identify gaps, promote continuous improvement, and prepare the facility for external audits and certifications. An audit team usually consists of a lead and audit team members. The audit lead is responsible for communicating with the audited management team, ensuring they understand the audit scope and plan. They are also responsible for assembling the audit team, coordinating planning efforts, and running the audit meetings. The lead is in charge of the final audit report, either writing it him or herself, or ensuring it is delegated, completed, and submitted. The audit team itself must be multidisciplinary. The team should include members from various departments or functions to provide a holistic and objective view of different processes within the organization. Trained and competent. Auditors must have expertise in food safety, industry standards, like Global Food Safety Initiative standards, audit principles, procedures, and the company's specific processes and regulatory requirements. Independent. Auditors must be independent of the departments or processes they are auditing to ensure objectivity, and can be internal or outsourced. Companies can either use their own trained staff or hire external service providers if they lack internal expertise. An auditor's code of ethics emphasizes principles like integrity, objectivity, competence, and confidentiality, requiring auditors to act honestly and impartially, perform work with due care and skill, protect sensitive information, and avoid conflicts of interest that could compromise their professional judgment. Some key pillars include: not accepting money or gifts from the auditee, not auditing someone they have a relationship with, not auditing their own work, not disclosing proprietary information, avoiding injecting personal biases, Report only fact-based information as the result of direct observations. Report unsafe activities or conditions to the audit lead or management. And report self or other auditor wrongdoing. The key responsibilities of an audit team include: assess system effectiveness. Evaluate if food safety systems, operational processes, and risk mitigation strategies are functioning as intended. Ensure compliance. Verify adherence to food safety laws, regulations, internal policies, and customer requirements. Identify improvement opportunities. Proactively identify areas for improvement to strengthen the food safety management system and enhance operational efficiency. Prepare for external audits. Ensure the facility is consistently prepared for unannounced or planned third-party audits by Global Food Safety Initiative benchmarked standards like a Safe Quality Food or SQF audit. And document findings, nonconformances, observations, and opportunities for improvement. Collect objective evidence, identify nonconformities, and document findings in a comprehensive report with recommended corrective actions. The key phases of an audit include: planning. Includes developing clear audit objectives and a comprehensive audit plan. An audit plan is a detailed, risk-based roadmap that outlines the objectives, scope, procedures, and resources for an audit engagement. On-site audit. Conduct thorough walkthroughs of the facility, observe processes, review records, and interview staff to gather evidence. Reporting. Provide detailed reports to management, highlighting strengths, weaknesses, and areas for corrective action. An audit report must include positive observations as well as the negatives. And follow-up. Ensures corrective actions are implemented and verify their effectiveness to drive continuous improvement. Food manufacturing internal audits require a planned program based on risk assessment, covering all food safety system aspects including HACCP, prerequisite programs, and regulatory compliance. Audits must be conducted using standardized checklists to evaluate documentation and on-site conditions for staff hygiene, sanitation, equipment maintenance, facility design, and proper food handling and storage. Findings must be documented with objective evidence and followed up with corrective actions to ensure continuous improvement and prevent future nonconformities. The first phase of an internal audit is to develop an audit plan. This involves creating a schedule, ensuring all areas of the food safety and quality management system are covered at least once a year. Conduct a risk assessment. Organizations must determine the frequency of audits for each activity based on a risk assessment. Areas with higher risks should be audited more often. The HACCP plan hazard analysis can be a useful tool in identifying what areas require more attention. Define the audit scope. Ensures the scope includes the HACCP plan, prerequisite programs like pest control, sanitation, and hygiene, food defense plans, and regulatory compliance. The scope will also place limits on the audit to allow for efficient use of assets to make sure the objectives are met. Next, the resources required for the audit must be determined. Considerations include: determining the type and purpose of the audit, selecting the team members based on the required expertise, specifying time frame and budget, establishing logistics requirements, identifying types of documents and materials and request them to review before the audit, developing checklists and inspection criteria, and reviewing previous audit reports. An in-brief should be conducted to open the audit. An audit in-brief is a meeting held at the start of an audit to inform the audited organization about the process. They are conducted to establish a clear understanding of the audit's scope and objectives before the main work begins. The lead auditor will run the meeting. An attendance roster should be used to track who attended the in-brief. The in-brief should include: confirming agreement of all parties to the audit plan, introducing the audit team, validating timelines, and ensuring all planned audit activities can be performed. Audit procedures. During the audit, the following activities should occur: review documentation, examine policies, procedures, records, and compliance documentation, including SOPs, quality manuals, and supplier records, and then verify that the actual performance matches the requirements. Conduct on-site inspections. Perform thorough on-site inspections to observe operations, interview personnel, and verify compliance with food safety protocols. Both qualitative and quantitative data will be measured. Qualitative data verifies if something is done or not done. Quantitative data uses methods of counting or measuring. Also, an auditor may find it valuable to take pictures to demonstrate issues observed. Use checklists. Utilize customized internal audit checklists to guide the evaluation process and ensure all key areas are assessed. Document findings. Record all findings, conformities, and nonconformities, providing objective evidence to support the conclusions. And daily meetings. For multiple-day audits, the audit team should meet daily to summarize activities and verify the audit is on track. The audit lead may also meet with management to provide updates. For quality and food safety audits, the key areas for evaluation include staff hygiene and training. Evaluate employee health, hygiene practices, and training records. Facility and equipment. Inspect the plant's construction, design, pest control, and the condition and maintenance of equipment and utensils. Sanitary operations. Review cleaning, sanitizing, and hand-washing procedures. Process and product controls. Assess manufacturing operations and process controls, including temperature monitoring. Storage and handling. Ensure proper food storage conditions and handling practices, including temperature control and cross-contamination prevention. Traceability and recall. Follow raw ingredients and finished goods through the supply chain system from receiving through shipment to verify traceability and recallabilities. Food safety plan compliance. Confirm the effectiveness and proper implementation of the food safety and HACCP plan. Other areas to evaluate may include senior management commitment to food safety standards, organizational culture, quality management systems, risk zones, and site standards. The outbrief or exit meeting ends the performance stage of the audit process. The purpose is to present audit observations to management and ensure the audit results are clearly understood. Like the in-brief, an attendance roster should be used. An audit team may find it valuable to show pictures or display documents to validate observations and nonconformances identified during the audit. This will provide concrete evidence and help avoid conflicts. Typically, the outbrief focuses on observations and nonconformances to make the best use of time. And since during the report writing process, the audit results may change, it is important to communicate this and provide only general scoring. The purpose of an audit report is to summarize the audit activities and formally communicate the results. A report should include event summary, a summation of the who, what, where, and when associated with the audit. Report findings, forward audit results, including nonconformities, to the responsible entities. Implement corrective actions. Assign responsibility for root cause analysis and corrective actions, ensuring they are implemented effectively. And follow-up. Conduct follow-up to verify that corrective actions have been effective in preventing the reoccurrence of issues. Audit issues can be classified by their severity, the area of the audit they relate to, or how they impact the overall status of operations and risk to the consumer. Audit issue classifications can include observations. Given as the result of chronic, systemic, or isolated failures to meet standards. They typically are a breach of a best practice, but are not a violation of an existing company procedure. Observations are sometimes referred to as opportunities for improvement or OFEs. Nonconformances, sometimes referred to as noncompliance, are classified based on the severity, frequency, and risk. In some industries, they may be referred to as audit findings. Nonconformances typically fall into the following categories. Critical, where the failure to meet the requirements can cause harm to the consumer or trigger legal issues. A critical nonconformance will typically lead to an automatic failure of the audit. Major nonconformities are where there is substantial failure to meet the requirement of an area or situation is identified which would on the basis of available objective evidence raises significant doubt as to the conformity of the product being supplied. Major nonconformities are also typically assigned to repeat or recurring issues. And minor nonconformances are where a process or criterion has not been fully met but, on the basis of objective evidence, the conformity of the product is not in doubt. Internal audit scoring systems evaluate findings, processes, or the entire audit function using a standardized rating system, often incorporating weighted scores for procedures or qualitative ratings for the severity of findings, to provide clarity on performance, risk, and areas needing improvement. These systems help in prioritizing remediation, communicating results to stakeholders, and driving continuous improvement within an organization's governance and risk management frameworks. Many systems assign a numerical value, for example, 1 to 5, to different criteria or findings, with specific values defined for categories like compliant or critical, major, or minor nonconformances. Overall results are usually out of a 100-point scale or using a letter grade system like the one seen to the left. For nonconformances, an organization must develop corrective and preventive actions to bring the issue back in line with acceptable conformity. Corrective actions address immediate issues and the root causes of past problems, while preventive actions identify and eliminate potential future issues. Together, as a corrective and preventive action, CAPA system, they form a structured process for identifying, investigating, and resolving food safety nonconformities, ensuring continuous improvement and compliance with standards like HACCP, GMP, and regulatory frameworks. Corrective actions are taken to eliminate the root cause of a detected problem to prevent recurrence. The purpose is to fix current problems and stop them from happening again. The process includes: identify the problem, recognize and document the nonconformity found during the audit, analyze the cause, use root cause analysis techniques, for example, 5 whys or fishbone diagrams, to understand the underlying reasons for the issue. Implement solutions. Apply measures to fix the immediate issue and address its root cause. And verify effectiveness. Confirm the corrective actions have worked. Preventive actions are taken to prevent potential problems before they occur. The purpose is to identify risks and implement measures to eliminate potential future food safety problems. The process includes: risk assessment. Analyze potential risks and hazards in the food production environment. Develop strategies. Create plans and procedures to mitigate these identified risks. Implement preventive measures, put the strategies into practice, such as staff training or equipment upgrades. And monitor and review. Continuously monitor processes to ensure preventive actions remain effective. Now putting it all together. A CAPA is initiated when audit findings or nonconformances are identified. The key elements of a CAPA system are identification, evaluation, investigation, appropriate resolution plans, implementation, and effectiveness checks. The goal is to not only correct issues identified in an audit, but to implement preventive actions that strengthen the overall food safety management system. Internal audits are an integral part of a quality and food safety system, and understanding the many aspects of them will aid in effectively implementing a process that will aid an organization achieve its continuous improvement objectives. We hope you found this training valuable. Please click the subscribe button to access additional Food Sure training videos.